Have you ever woken up, haven't eaten a single thing, yet your blood pressure is already running higher than normal? Mornings are when your body shifts from resting to active, meaning your heart, blood vessels, and hormones are all going through changes. This video will break down 3 common reasons for this so you can monitor it safely. The scary part is that your morning blood pressure can spike even when you feel completely fine. There's no obvious pain, no clear warning signs, but if this happens day after day, your heart and blood vessels are put under prolonged stress. This significantly increases the risk of cardiovascular complications, like strokes, and makes your blood pressure much harder to control. But don't panic. Once you understand how this works, you can be proactive about monitoring it and adjusting your morning routine. Today, we're going to dive into some educational health insights to help you take better care of yourself and your loved ones. Stick around until the end of this video, and you'll know exactly why blood pressure tends to surge in the early morning, the 3 common triggers that make these fluctuations worse, and a simple 5-minute habit that helps your body transition smoothly from resting to moving. Does this sound familiar? During the day, your numbers are pretty good. You've cut back on salt, you're walking more, and taking your meds exactly as prescribed. But every morning when you wake up and check your monitor, the numbers make your stomach drop. A 68-year-old gentleman experienced the exact same thing. He controlled his sodium, walked daily, and never missed his pills, but right around 7 o'clock in the mornings, his systolic blood pressure would sometimes shoot up to nearly 160. Every now and then, he'd feel a stiff neck, even though that's not always a direct symptom of high blood pressure. Because of this, he started paying much closer attention the moment he opened his eyes. This noticeable morning spike is directly tied to your body's natural circadian rhythm. When you sleep, your blood pressure naturally dips to give your cardiovascular system a well-deserved break. But a few hours before you wake up, your body starts shifting from sleep mode into waking mode. Your nervous and endocrine systems kick into gear, releasing hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones make your heart beat a little faster and cause your blood vessels to slightly constrict, preparing you to sit up, stand, and start your day. In younger people, blood vessels are still highly elastic, so this whole process is practically seamless. But after age 60, our artery walls tend to become stiffer and less flexible. Because these aging blood vessels are slower to adapt to this morning wake-up call, your blood pressure can fluctuate much more dramatically in those first few hours after getting out of bed. Keep watching to the end of this video to find out the 3 main reasons your blood pressure runs high in the morning so you can take preventative action before it's too late. And let me know down in the comments if you've been dealing with this, too. Reason Hashon, your body is dehydrated after a long night. Water plays a crucial role in your circulation and in regulating your blood pressure. When you sleep for 7 to 8 hours, you aren't taking in any fluids, yet you're still continuously losing water through breathing, sweating, and kidney function. If you sleep with the air conditioning on or in a dry room, this mild dehydration can become even more pronounced. When the fluid volume in your body drops, your circulatory system has to work harder to maintain steady blood flow to your vital organs. For those of us over 60, our natural sense of thirst isn't as sharp as it used to be, and our blood vessels tend to be less elastic. Because of this, even mild overnight dehydration can cause noticeable morning blood pressure spikes, especially if you already have hypertension or take heart medications. Now, it's important to note that dehydration isn't the only culprit. Your morning numbers are also influenced by your natural circadian rhythm, sleep quality, current medications, underlying health conditions, and how quickly you change positions when you wake up. Speaking of which, let me tell you about a 70-year-old man I happen to know. He had a fantastic daily routine. He ate dinner at 6 o'clock in the evening, took a light evening stroll, and always took his blood pressure pills right on time. However, his blood pressure log revealed something that really worried him. His nighttime numbers were perfectly stable, but when he woke up around 6 o'clock in the morning, his systolic pressure would sometimes jump to 155 or 160, accompanied by a heavy, stiff feeling at the base of his neck. He was terrified that his cardiovascular system was getting weaker, despite all his hard work. The issue wasn't his medication at all, it was a simple evening habit. Because he was afraid of middle-of-the-night bathroom trips ruining his sleep, he practically stopped drinking any liquids after dinner. Going almost 12 hours without a single sip of water caused his circulating fluid levels to drop. By the next morning, his circulatory system had to overcompensate for the low fluid volume, unintentionally putting extra strain on his blood vessels even though he was perfectly compliant with his meds. To help your body wake up more gently, here's a simple tip: leave a small glass of warm or room temperature water on your nightstand the night before. The next morning, the moment you open your eyes, don't rush right out of bed. Instead, prop yourself up against your pillows and slowly sip about 5 to 7 ounces of that water. Take small sips, don't chug it, so it's easy on your stomach and gives your body time to absorb the hydration. Now, you don't have to avoid cold water completely. But for older adults, or anyone who feels a bit sensitive to cold drinks first thing in the morning, warm or room temperature water is usually a much gentler option. It replenishes the fluids you lost overnight and helps your body transition from resting to fully awake in a much more soothing way. Quick disclaimer: if you have heart failure, kidney disease, leg swelling, edema, or if your doctor has put you on a strict fluid restriction, always consult with them before increasing your daily water intake. A quick way to check your hydration is to look at the color of your morning urine. If it's a dark, concentrated yellow, that's a classic sign your body needs more water. Just keep in mind, this is only a general guideline, as certain medications, vitamins, and foods can also change your urine color. Properly hydrating in the morning helps stabilize your circulation, but it's only the first step. Even if you're perfectly hydrated, your blood pressure can still spike if you change positions too quickly after lying down for hours. And that brings us to the next crucial point: exactly how you should be getting out of bed every morning. Reason #2: smoking a cigarette. First thing in the morning. Take a close look at your routine if you tend to light up the minute you wake up, especially before eating breakfast or checking your blood pressure. A lot of people think that first morning cigarette just helps them wake up and takes the edge off, but when it comes to your blood pressure, this is actually a highly sensitive window of time. Morning is when your body is shifting from resting mode into active mode. Your heart starts working harder, your blood vessel tone changes, wake-up hormone surge, and your blood pressure naturally trends higher than it does at night. If you smoke right at this exact moment, the nicotine can cause your heart to beat faster and your blood vessels to constrict even more, leading to a noticeable spike in your blood pressure for a short period of time. So, if you are actively tracking your morning numbers, do not smoke right before you measure. Take your blood pressure only when you've been sitting quietly, haven't smoked, haven't had your coffee, and haven't done any heavy physical activity. This ensures your reading is a true reflection of your baseline health. The mechanism behind smoking and high blood pressure mainly comes down to nicotine and your sympathetic nervous system. When nicotine enters your body, it kicks this system into high gear. This is the exact same system responsible for your body's fight-or-flight response, making you alert, tense, and ready for action. When this system is triggered, your heart rate speeds up, your heart pumps with more force, and your blood vessels narrow. When those vessels constrict, your blood has to push through that narrower space with much greater force. The end result? A temporary spike in your blood pressure right after smoking. What makes this so critical is that mornings are already a prime time for blood pressure spikes due to your natural circadian rhythm. After a night's sleep, your body sends signals to help you wake up, stand, and get moving. If you smoke right then, the effects of the nicotine stack right on top of that natural morning blood pressure surge. Beyond just the nicotine, cigarette smoke contains numerous chemicals that damage your blood vessels over time. Long-term smoking makes your artery walls stiff and less flexible, promotes plaque buildup, atherosclerosis, and makes controlling your blood pressure significantly harder. For older adults, or anyone already managing high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, or kidney disease, reaching for that morning cigarette needs to be taken very seriously. The bottom line is this: smoking in the morning isn't just a lifestyle habit. It triggers a short-term blood pressure spike exactly when your cardiovascular system is already working hard to transition into active mode. If this happens day after day, morning blood pressure can become incredibly difficult to control for some people. If you do have a habit of smoking the moment you wake up, try making small, gradual changes rather than forcing yourself to quit cold turkey. Step 1. Simply don't smoke before taking your morning blood pressure. Sit quietly for about 5 minutes, Keep your feet flat on the floor, make sure your back is supported by a chair, and don't talk while the machine is running. Then take your reading. Step 2. Try to delay that first cigarette of the day. Instead of lighting up the second you get out of bed, drink a few sips of water, wash your face, do some slow breathing, or take a light walk around the house. The immediate goal isn't necessarily to quit on the spot, but to separate the act of smoking from the time of day your blood pressure is most vulnerable. Step 3. Log your smoking habits right next to your morning blood pressure numbers. Every time you take a reading, jot down the time, whether or not you'd already smoked or had coffee, and if you were feeling stressed or rushed. This information gives your doctor a much clearer picture of how your morning routine impacts your numbers. If your blood pressure consistently runs high on the days you smoke early, that's a major red flag worth discussing with your healthcare provider. If you have high blood pressure and still smoke, especially in the mornings, please talk to your healthcare provider about strategies to cut back or quit that actually fit your specific situation. Never stop taking your blood pressure medication, and never change your dosage or the time you take your pills on your own just because your morning numbers look high. The best thing you can do is keep that detailed log of your numbers, the time, your smoking and coffee habits, your sleep, and your meds, so your doctor has the exact data they need to help you. Now, while morning smoking is a major factor in blood pressure spikes, it's not the only one. There's another incredibly common breakfast habit that can send your numbers on a roller coaster: drinking strong coffee or tea on an empty stomach. Reason #3. Drinking caffeine on an empty stomach. Mornings are a time of major neurological and hormonal shifts in your body. After a night of rest, your system reboots with a surge of hormones like cortisol, often known as the stress hormone, but it's actually what helps wake you up and get you ready for the day. Along with this, your blood pressure naturally trends upward due to your circadian rhythm, especially in that window right after you wake up. When you add caffeine from coffee or strong tea into this mix, it acts as an extra stimulant on your nervous system. Caffeine works by stimulating your central nervous system, raising your heart rate, boosting alertness, and in some cases, causing a temporary spike in blood pressure. Not everyone reacts the exact same way, but this response is usually much more pronounced in people who are sensitive to caffeine, those who don't drink it regularly, or anyone with a history of hypertension. When you drink caffeine on an empty stomach, these effects can be heavily magnified. An empty stomach allows caffeine to be absorbed into your bloodstream much faster, which can increase feelings of restlessness, slight tremors, a racing heart, or what we commonly call the jitters. Some people even experience an upset stomach or head pressure. While these symptoms aren't always dangerous, if they happen frequently, they can ruin your morning and leave you anxious about your blood pressure. It's important to understand that a morning cup of coffee doesn't cause problems for everyone. However, if you fall into that sensitive group or you're actively monitoring your blood pressure, when and how you consume your caffeine can make a world of difference. In the real world, a lot of older adults have a deeply ingrained habit of drinking coffee or strong tea the minute they wake up. For them, it's not just about waking up, it's a comforting part of their daily rhythm. A hot mug of black coffee or a strong pot of tea brings a sense of comfort and kicks off the day in a familiar way. But as they start paying closer attention to their health, especially when advised to track their blood pressure at home, some folks notice subtle but significant changes. They realize that on the days they drink coffee or strong tea before eating anything, they easily get the jitters, their heart beats a little faster than normal, or they get a dull headache. Sometimes these feelings are fleeting, but other times they linger long enough to become really uncomfortable. When they compare this to days where they have a light bite to eat first, they notice their body feels much more stable, they have fewer jitters, and that pleasant morning feeling lasts much longer. Observations like this help them realize that the coffee or tea itself isn't necessarily the enemy, it's the timing and the method that need a little tweaking. You don't have to completely give up your morning coffee or tea habit if it's something you truly enjoy. Instead, try making a few minor adjustments to help your body handle it better. If you often feel jittery or notice your blood pressure fluctuating after drinking on an empty stomach, try having a light snack first. You don't need a massive meal. Just a small portion, perhaps leaning into a protein-first breakfast habit to keep your metabolism steady, like a handful of almonds, or even just a bit of oatmeal, a slice of whole wheat bread, or half a banana, if that fits your dietary plan. This is enough to slow down the absorption of caffeine and help your body react much more gently. Additionally, you can adjust how you drink it by brewing it a little weaker, sipping it slowly, and avoiding it entirely right before you check your morning blood pressure. This ensures you get a much more accurate reading and prevents you from confusing a temporary caffeine spike with your actual baseline blood pressure. If you repeatedly notice symptoms like palpitations, head pressure, or high blood pressure readings after having caffeine, keep a log of when you drank it, how much you had, and how your body felt. This information is incredibly valuable when you talk to your doctor, helping them give you advice tailored exactly to your situation. Before you panic over high morning numbers, make sure you're actually measuring it correctly. You should take your reading at the same time every morning, after emptying your bladder, and before eating breakfast. For about 30 minutes prior to measuring, avoid coffee, strong tea, smoking, and vigorous exercise. When you're ready to measure, sit quietly for 5 minutes, ensure your back is supported by a chair, keep both feet flat on the floor, and do not cross your legs. Wrap the blood pressure cuff on your bare arm, resting your arm at heart level. While the machine is running, don't talk and don't move. You should take 2 readings, about 1 minute apart. Please keep in mind, if your high morning blood pressure is accompanied by chest heaviness or pressure, shortness of breath, weakness on one side of your body, sudden vision changes, difficulty speaking, or an unusually severe headache, do not brush it off. These could be signs of a medical emergency, such as a heart attack or stroke. Sit down, rest, avoid any physical exertion, and call 911 or get to an emergency room immediately. To wrap things up, remember that morning blood pressure can naturally fluctuate due to your circadian rhythm, your current medications, your sleep quality, and underlying health conditions. But in this video, we focused on 3 everyday habits that you can control. Mild overnight dehydration, smoking the moment you wake up, and drinking strong coffee or tea on an empty stomach. My goal with this video isn't to scare you or make you anxious, it's to empower you to understand your body better. Take your blood pressure the right way, stay properly hydrated, as long as you don't have fluid restrictions, hold off on smoking before taking your readings, and have a light snack before your morning caffeine if you're prone to the jitters. If you found this information helpful, please share this video with your friends and family who are also tracking their blood pressure at home, and I'd love to hear from you which of these 3 habits are you currently doing. Let me know down in the comments below. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and informational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or before starting any new health practices mentioned in this video.